Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we spill the corporate tea without the legalese jargon. Today, we're diving into Commerce Bancshares Incorporated's latest financial news, and let's just say some numbers are looking pretty predictable, but what is hiding behind the curtain? So Commerce Bancshares, a pretty well established bank, just dropped their Q3 results for 2025. For those of you who don't track these things closely, companies like this have to tell the world how they're redoing financially, and they do it by filing these reports. This specific one is a lot like a press release, giving us the highlights of their earnings. The big news here is they resharing their earnings for the third quarter of 2025. Think of this as a report card for the last 3 months of their business operations. They also giving us a slide presentation, which is pretty common for investor calls, where they break down the numbers in a more visual way. Essentially, they're retelling us how much money they made, how much they spent, and what that means for the company. Now, Commerce Bancshares, or CBS, as they are known on the Nasdaq Global Select Market, has their common stock registered there. This means their stock is traded on a major stock exchange, and they have to follow all the rules that come with being a public company, including telling everyone how they're performing. It is all about transparency for their investors, the people who own a piece of the company. While we don't have the full financials directly in this report, it refers to a press release dated the 16th of October 2025. This is where the juicy financial details would typically be found. These releases usually highlight key performance indicators, things like revenue growth or the profits they've managed to keep. They might talk about how much they lent out and what they earned on those loans, or how their investment portfolios are doing. The accompanying slide presentation, also furnished on the 16th of October 2025, would then visually lay out these same figures. Imagine charts and graphs showing trends over time. This is where you look for year-over-year comparisons, seeing if they're growing or shrinking compared to last year. It's also often where management will give their commentary, explaining why the numbers are what they are and what they plan to do about it. Looking at Commerce Bancshares specifically, they operate in the banking sector. This means their health is closely tied to interest rates, the overall economy, and how much people and businesses are borrowing and spending. If rates are high, they can earn more on loans. If the economy slows down, people might borrow less or struggle to pay back loans, which can hurt a bank's profits. The signature at the end shows Paul A. Steiner, the Controller and Chief Accounting Officer. This individual is responsible for overseeing the company's financial reporting, making sure everything is accurate and compliant with regulations. Their signature validates the report as being official from Commerce Bancshares. So, what does this all mean? Well, without the numbers from the press release and the slide presentation, it is hard to give a definitive financial picture. However, the very fact they reissuing this report on the 16th of October for the third quarter tells us they are on track with their reporting schedule. This consistency is a good sign in itself. For investors, the next step would be to actually read those furnished exhibits, the press release and the presentation to understand the real financial performance. We'd be looking for things like net interest income, how much they earn from loans minus the interest they paid on deposits, and also non-interest income, which could come from fees for services like wealth management or credit cards. We also want to see their provision for credit losses, which is essentially what they set aside to cover potential bad loans. If we had to guess based on general market trends for banks in late 2025, things have likely been steady, but perhaps facing some headwinds from a fluctuating interest rate environment and ongoing economic adjustments. A bank's performance is a direct reflection of the economic engine it serves, so we'll be watching to see if Commerce Bancshares is navigating these waters with skill, maintaining profitability, and perhaps even growing its market share against competitors. Now, looking at Commerce Bancshares filings, while this specific report is light on direct financial data, our analysis usually hinges on those detailed numbers. A bank's strength lies in its ability to manage risk while generating returns. Are they aggressively expanding their loan book, potentially exposing them to higher risk in a downturn, or are they playing it safe with conservative lending and investments? Those are the questions the furnished exhibits would answer. We'd also be keen to see their capital ratios, which are crucial indicators of a bank's financial stability. Are they holding enough capital to withstand unexpected shocks? In conclusion, this filing from Commerce Bancshares, Inc. serves as a notification that their Q3 2025 earnings information is now publicly available through their furnished exhibits. While this document itself is a formality, the real story lies within the press release and investor presentation. Our analysis will depend on dissecting those documents to understand their profitability, their loan portfolio health, and their overall strategic direction in the current financial landscape. Alright, that is our initial decode of this filing. What is your take on what Commerce Bank shares might be reporting? Drop your predictions in the comments. If this kind of corporate breakdown is helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more. And don't forget to check out our Discord in the description for even more in-depth discussions. Thanks for watching, see you next time.